Welcome back to my second channel, guys. Shwab-Analysis. This is where you can find all the behind the scenes reactions, that kind of stuff. Today we're doing something a little bit different where I will actually be listening to and reviewing and critiquing a little more in depth the tracks that you guys have sent me. So I put out a community post and a Twitter post the other day asking you guys to email me your tracks so that I could kind of listen to them and give some feedback. I got a lot more than I was expecting. So if your track didn't make it into the video, listen to the feedback that I give other people because it will apply to your song as well. Okay, with that being said, let's jump straight into it and listen to the first track.
I'm the demon Musa, taking on any form. Demons under my curse, mine Tanjiro. Disperse Tanjiro, I killed your family. Now you tryna harm me, I'm pretty powerful. You see, hate the sunlight, roaming at night. Hate these demon slayers, had a land and slice. You can't, got regeneration. 12 moons, my creation. Inject in my blood, you can't handle it.
I think that gives us a good enough idea. Alright, what to say about this? This feedback that I'm about to give King Dan is going to apply to a lot of the tracks that people have sent me. It's not good. I'm not, sorry, this video is not going to be kind. It's not a good track. You unfortunately lack a lot of the basics that go into making music. And to improve, the only feedback I can give you at this point is make more music, practice, listen to other artists that you like and try and kind of emulate what they're doing and what you like about their work, because at this point, you have not got the basics. Obviously, you're really young, okay? I didn't start off that young, so to get that head start is great, but just bear in mind that, yeah, people aren't going to listen to your music a lot at this point. Just to practice and keep making music and get better, learn the basics and improve. I can't give you any really detailed, meaningful critique besides that because, yeah, like I said, the basic building blocks are things that you need to learn and master just by doing it.
Like, I don't know, man. I really want to get fit. Hold on, wait, there's a new gym opening? Really? Awesome, let's go.
I like the bit.
I got a little chubby from all the food I was eating. With little to no exercise, I was feeling pretty beaten. But I picked myself up, got right out of the rut. Went over to the gym so I could keep leveling up. I pushed myself every single day. Dedication to the gains kept me on my way. While I lost my weight, keep pushing till I break. Learn new things each and every day. Machio told me I could do it and he kept me motivated. Every time I fell down, it's cause I wasn't dedicated to the form, to the craft, to the sweat and the burn. Oh my god, I got a lot of stuff to learn. I got a long way to go, only up and not down. I started shredding the weight, inspiration's up now. Come on and double the weight, I swear I got what it takes. And when I'm done, I'll gift myself with the protein shake. I know that I can do it, I got friends to prove it. Looking at the path, I'm about to be more stupid. If I thought that this was gonna be something I couldn't achieve. Looking at my pants, I'm no longer breaking seams. It's a dream, like one more rap, one more set. Pick yourself up, you're not done yet.
Okay, so first of all, I like the little bits you did, the spoken word bits at the beginning and end. That was nice. Just adds to the making the song feel in universe for the property you're rapping about. I guess some positives. I'll cover some positives first before I go into the actual critique. I think you've got some really clever lines in there. You have a handful of like quite clever bars which sound great. Have really good punchlines. You had one or two lines that were meant to like pack a punch, and they did actually kind of pack a punch, which is great. I can kind of tell what you were trying to go for, and you nailed it on some of those parts. It sounds like you haven't written the lyrics necessarily to fit perfectly in the structure of the song, as in it doesn't fit the flow that you were going for. So what you do is you kind of slur a phrase, you slur two syllables together, or you elongate a syllable to make it kind of stretch out and fit that bar. And what that does is it just makes it makes the flow really sloppy. If you have something you want to say in a bar, you really want to say this specific thing, but it's just not fitting the flow, so you're having to elongate certain syllables or even like smush them all together. What that means is that you need to change how you've written it. It's as simple as that. You need to add more syllables or take syllables away. And it can be difficult in the writing process. It's one of the most difficult things when you've got a line, you've got a bar that you want to include, a punchline that you really want to hit on, and you can't think of any way to reword it so that it fits the flow that you've got, and it fits it like on beat and really snappy, without kind of stretching out syllables and shit like that. If you don't take the extra time, if you don't put in the effort to make those bars fit, to really fit and sound great, then your flow sounds sloppy, your writing sounds sloppy, and the performance suffers as well. It all starts to fall apart. In terms of performance, sometimes the backup vocals that you were doing, those ad-libs and backup vocals that you have, weren't as on beat as the main vocals. They would come in a tiny bit after, a tiny bit before the actual main vocals, and again, all that does is contribute to it sounding a little bit sloppy and a little bit not as clean as it could. And a question I have is, do you do a lot of your verses in one take? Because you shouldn't. Straight up. A lot of people have a lot of pride in being able to record a full verse in one take, and that's great sometimes, but it sounded like a lot of the lines in here, you should have stopped recording at the end of a line and then started recording again for the beginning of the next stanza or the next bar, because you had points where your words you would cut short as you quickly take a breath to start the next line. What you need to do is finish the line that you are rapping, and if you are too out of breath to start the next line, or if the next line kind of the syllables overlap in somewhere, don't try and keep rapping, stop and record the next line separately. There is no way in hell I could perform most of my songs in one take, okay? Do more than one take. That's the power of digital music. Stitch it together if you have to. Okay, that's all I'm going to say there.
I've known pain for some time now. Can't seem to find ways to make things right, but I will fight for the leave tonight and make their wishes come true.
Time to read the thunder back, Shidori in the dark. Light it up, time to push your heart. Touch you down, funny tracks, and you might hear a boxer would remark. This battle isn't just, but I turn a whole army into dust. Following the rules is a must, but abandon a friend and you'll lose my trust. That's what he would tell you, oh you wouldn't know. My friend Obito, he died a long time ago.
So I think I've got a lot of positive stuff to say about this Cuspodan. I assume I'm saying that right, Cuspodan. So straight off the bat, you've got a good voice. You've got a really interesting voice as well. I don't know if there's an accent that I'm hearing every so often. Not so much in the singing, but when you were rapping, I felt like there was an accent coming through that I couldn't quite place. So I'm not sure where you're from, but it definitely works in your favor that accent's coming through. It really makes for an interesting sound. You generally had a good flow. It was all on beat, obviously, and it was fine. I had no major issues with it. The hook was a good idea, and the basis for it was good, and I could see what you were going for a lot of the time. I think your singing is okay, but it doesn't quite hit. I consider myself to be okay at singing, and I sing on a lot of my tracks, but I cannot sing without doing some kind of post-processing, which often means tuning. And a lot of people despise auto-tune and say it's the bane of modern music. Auto-tune is just a tool. Not everybody in the world can sing. Not everybody in the world should be expected to sing. If it means that it makes your song sound a little cleaner, and you hit exactly what you were trying to hit, and you get more of that artist's vision across in the final piece, then use the tool. Okay, so that's definitely something I would consider looking at. It's not your number one priority, unless you're planning on singing a whole bunch. There's obviously different ways around it. You could just get other people to sing on your hooks, or you could just practice like a whole bunch so that when you finally record it, you nail it. I'm just saying the tools exist, and if you can look into them, look into them. Just based on what I heard, I can't necessarily critique your writing too much. A lot of what I heard was quite simplistic. They didn't catch my attention. The bars were there, but they didn't stand out to me. Again, there might have been some good stuff in there, but without actually going in and looking at the lyrics or listening to this song a whole bunch of times, I'm not going to be able to pick up on it. Sometimes when your lyrics didn't necessarily fit the flow that you were going for, it didn't fit to the beat, you kind of changed your flow and response. You slurred those syllables, extend them a little bit. You didn't do it too often, but when you did it, it kind of stood out because, like I said, the general flow was good. It was strong. So then when you do slip up and you do kind of a sloppier flow on a bar, it does stand out, unfortunately. But yeah, I would say altogether, good. Yeah, really good start. I would like to hear more of it. I am intrigued to see kind of what you do in the future, for sure. So definitely keep it a really positive start from you if this is kind of early work. So yeah.
I know I'm not the best, I know I'll never be. I know that on that list, I'll always be a C. I know I'm not the best, but you can bet I'll try. I will fight and protect until the day I die.
Don't do it for just kicks, gotta keep on emphasis. If I can't keep up, then I'll rise. Cyclist for justice, fighting and I must win, cause heroes still exist. So I'll
keep on another day, but I gotta rep what a hero ought to be and give 100%. No stop in the end, no one evil never rests. So neither do I, always up for the test in the middle of a mess. And I won't be a pest, and I have to confess I don't got a license, but I'll push on press, and a forward offense is the best defense, building endurance.
Overall, I rate this song. That's quite good. I really enjoyed that track, actually. I would say the kind of the rap hook, kind of the pre-chorus that you opened with was really great, really catchy, kind of the first few bars. When it switched into the singing, I wasn't such a fan. The singing isn't bad, but the way you've written it, the lyrics sounded kind of clunky. Mixing for the ad-libs as well as the singing was bad. You went for that kind of that tinny radio effect, like old-timey radio effect kind of thing, but I don't know. It just kind of sounded thin and flat. It needed reverb, it needed maybe a little bit of tuning, it needed more stuff on it to actually make it stand out, because as it was, the hook is supposed to be the big catchy center point of the song, and instead it was just kind of the point that I wanted to fast forward past so I could get back to the verse. Speaking of the verses though, you had a lot of really clever bars, especially in that first verse, that kind of took me by surprise, where I thought, oh, okay, I really liked some of, there was a handful of multis in there that really caught my attention. And I've got to say that Carter, compared to what he was making kind of a year or two ago, has seriously improved. That said, the lyrics did slip in the second verse. When you're just covering story points from the show, it can be kind of difficult to wrap it up in a way that makes it interesting to listen to, and I don't think you succeeded in doing that here, and you kind of lost my interest in the second verse. Come another year from now, I'm expecting very good things from your channel. Alright, so yeah, keep at it, dude, because I'm very interested to see what you're going to be working on in the near future.
Tall, well built, strong, no hill. Gonna hit you with star platinum, you bum. I'm not your chum, not your mum. You need a forum to discuss how you got me by a stand. You ain't a man, you don't got bands like me. I'll throw you in the secret creep. You'll be in disbelief, you need to be brief, chief. I'm the strongest, smartest tactician you'll ever meet. Tricks you'll never see. Coming up the street, yeah. Tricks you'll never see.
I'll come back alive, a reason to thrive. I'm powerful and I don't want to die. With you by my side as I push past my limits in life.
Now I'm a mentor, wear white, black, no more. Then I'll battle like Thor, wipe you on the floor. Then I'll score with the ladies, but you don't want that, cause I'm alone, a cold. Yet the only look I...
What is going on here? Wow. Yeah, sorry, dude. Black Shadow Dragon, Max Austin. This is not good, dude. This is not good. So the track opened with a section that wasn't awful. There were lyrics that were to a beat. The voice was fine. The actual performance was fine. Man, I hate to say this, but this is a really bad song. The beat, the instrumental was a mess. The switch up that you did between the chorus and then to the second verse just threw me off so badly. The chords and the bass line in I guess the hook, I guess that's what that was, didn't match up at all. It sounded totally off key. I'm really sorry. I assume it's Max Austin, the feature, who was singing. The singing was really bad. You have a lot to work on for the singing in terms of getting the very basics of kind of cadence control down and getting a performance that is listenable. The rapping, when it came back to the verse, I guess. I don't know how to talk about this. The instrumental was such a mess. The structure was just non-existent. So when it switched up for the second time and came back with the rapping, it was entirely offbeat. I have no idea what you were going for, but it was not that. You need to go back to the drawing board and start thinking about how you are going to hit the basics of songwriting. Because as it stands, this song is unlistenable. I like I said, if I'm not honest in this video, there is no point. And I have to be totally honest with you. This is not good. I don't want to deter you from making music. I want you to carry on. I want you to see what you've done wrong and how you could improve and make it better. But this is bad. Okay, so that's it for this video. I've reacted to 5 videos now. That's probably pushing the time limit. So I'll be recording more of these over the next coming days, so stay tuned. If you haven't heard me react to your track yet, I will get to it soon enough. I hope the advice was helpful. Again, sorry if it sounded mean. I'm just trying to be honest and give useful, helpful critique. I hope you can take something positive away from this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.